Are the Eagles just lucky? That's what the national narrative and national media would make you believe. They're just the luckiest team in football, luckiest team ever. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about coaches. We're going to talk about the defense, the offense, maybe a little Sixers talk as well after smashing the Lakers last night. Trending in the AM, taking your thoughts and opinions live in 30 seconds.
Fourth and goal.
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube. You know the drill. Hit the like, share, subscribe buttons. It is free to do, even though I misspelled it in the comments here. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. It's free to do. Hit those buttons for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Beard and Knowledge. Make sure you do that as well. And we got lots on the agenda today. Lots agenda. Phil said, knock you out. Yeah, I said that all right. I'm going to knock you out. Look, I want to knock out this conversation in the agenda today. The title of the show today. 40 Winers Week is officially on. It is. I'm still not past the Bills game yet. You know, Wednesday, about the time we start teetering towards the next week. Thursday, we start picking up. And then Friday, we really get into it. But we're still in theory conversation right now. Yes, Dark Burnett signed with the Houston Texans. That was interesting news. It's a contradiction also. It is. Look, I really want to get into this national narrative. After the show yesterday, I saw, I don't follow Skip Bayless over on Fox Sports and Undisputed. I just don't. He's a not a good person, in my opinion. But anyway, his narrative, his conversation, obviously, clearly a biased Cowboys fan. His narrative that I've seen a lot of people say was that the Eagles are just the luckiest team ever. Or the other narrative that floats around constantly that is the Eagles are the worst 10-1 team ever. And I started thinking, I mean, obviously I disagree. But is there any truth to that narrative? And I really believe there's not. So we're going to get into that today. Obviously, we're going to talk Frank Reich and all the fired Carolina Panthers coaches. There's a lot of connections to Philadelphia. There's a lot of people that want them in Philadelphia. I stay on the no side for that. Some other odds and ends with the Eagles. Maybe we talk a little Sixers since they put the whooping on the Los Angeles Lakers last night in South Philly. Got lots. Whatever you want to talk about today, we will talk about it today. Luck, Jeremy, good morning. Luck plays into sports, but the idea that the Eagles are getting all the calls from the refs is nauseating. Yeah. The refs the refs, it's funny. We could do a whole 90-minute show just talking about refereeing in sports in general and how questionable refs and umpires and we'll just call it officials in general, have been lately. Well, we can leave it at that. I mean, there were some missed calls, obviously, on Sunday. I feel like my mic's not locked in spot today. The refs definitely did not have a good game on either side of the football on Sunday. But we've seen it with a lot of games. I was watching the Sixers game last night. The refs were blatantly trying to help the Lakers as they were getting blown out. It happens. But that doesn't make the Eagles lucky. What's up, Peanut? Phil got that B-Rabbit from 8 Mile look today. Yeah. I hate the winter. I love hoodies. I went with it. I'm hiding my hair, because my hair always looks so bad to you guys, You guys like to make fun of my balding head. Not really. I'm just like this. You want me to take the hoodie off there? It's going to cost you $10 to knock the hoodie back so you can see my hair. What is up, Mitchie Pooh? Best in the world back. CM Punk. That was so underwhelming last night. I stayed up for that, and I was just like, why did I stay up for that? What a waste of my time. Frank Reich stinks. I don't think this is as as far fetched of a conversation as people might think. As a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, there's no doubt Frank Reich can design some pretty good offensive schemes. I think he got the raw end of the stick there in Carolina. It was not his fault that he's gone already. Luck is the residue of design. That's a deep conversational thing right there. Yes, obviously Josh McCown was fired. So was Deuce Staley. Shaq Leonard news, that could be on the agenda. He still has not signed anywhere. Supposedly going to Dallas today. The script writers are pushing Eagles, and that's good. I guess. Jason Pierre-Paul signed with the Dolphins. He did. I did not see that. I know a lot of Eagles fans wanted him. Look, this luck conversation. Excuse me. That popped up out of nowhere. This luck conversation, it's frustrating to an extent because, yeah, some balls have bounced the Eagles' way. Obviously, the big passing in the Chiefs game at the end of the game, what was it? Scantlin dropped that ball. In the Bills game, there was what was it in the Bills game? I forget. There was a play, a drop. The Gabe Davis went left. Josh Allen threw right. In the Cowboys game, Dak Prescott stepped out at the 2-yard line. But how much of that is just the Eagles got lucky, and how much of that, hey, I appreciate that, Keith. That stopped me. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. It is a hustle here every single morning. It is, man. It's tough doing this every day. But stuff like that, man, that makes the difference, my man. Thank you. There goes the hoodie. There, I'll show you my bald head right for that one there. Absolutely. Thank you very much. It humbles me when people do that. It really does. But to the point here, how much of it is luck? Okay. And how much of it is just the other team, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Cowboys, these teams we got lucky against because they made mistakes in crucial moments? How much of it is that the Eagles just don't make those mistakes? They're just a little bit better in the fine-tuned details. Championship teams don't have mental mistakes. And those 3 plays the last 3 weeks that Skippy, Payless, and the rest of the national media narrative talk about, how much of it is the Eagles being lucky? How much of it is just the other team just doesn't have that mental edge that they need to win a championship? You're going to have drops all year long. You're going to have mistakes happen all year long. But in crunch time, the teams that are the best mentally prepared make those plays. It's just a slip in concentration causes a drop. A slip in concentration makes you turn left then rather right. A slip in concentration makes you step a half an inch out of bounds when you want to stay in. How much of this luck narrative that they push is ignoring the fact that all it is also that the Eagles just are a little bit better in those finer points in the moments. Jalen Hurts does not let anybody get too high, get too low. Stay focused. Stay focused on each play. This play didn't work. Well, now we're on to the next play. Forget about it. You made a mistake. Forget about it. How much of this luck narrative, and they're the 3 main plays people talk about over the last couple of weeks of games, how much of it is luck, but how much of it is just the other teams just don't have that extra edge that the Eagles have? If the Dallas Cowboys had that little extra edge, Dak Prescott does not step out. If the Chiefs have that extra edge, maybe Van Scantlin or whoever it was, maybe makes that catch. Maybe if they have a little bit more concentration and focus on the important stuff in practice, maybe Gabe Davis is on the same page as Josh Allen and turns right instead of left. There's a big difference in that fine line between what the Eagles are doing and what the rest of the league is doing, in my opinion. Bills just had bad juju. That's not an Eagles problem. But it just okay. So here's the thing: if this is accurate, the Bills just had bad juju. A national narrative would be, well, the Eagles got lucky because the Bills had bad juju. The Eagles still had to win the game. The Eagles still had to make plays to win the game. So the narrative that they're lucky, I think, is a bit of a reach. But I get what they're saying. I just don't think that they're looking at it the right way. Yeah, well, the hoodie went instantly thanks to Keith right there. And one more time, much appreciated, massively. Phil gonna knock you out. I'm not gonna knock anybody out. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. Not our fault. We played a bunch of chokers. See, and that's the thing. I don't know if I'd say chokers per se. I don't want to take anything away from 4 of the last 5 teams we played. We'll throw the Dolphins in there as well. They're great teams. They're all going to make the play. Well, the Bills probably might not make the playoffs now, but their playoff teams we're beating right now. They just don't have that little extra mental juice that gets them over the hump in the grand scheme of things. The Eagles do. They have Jalen Hurts. They have Nick Sirianni. And they have that extra edge. The finer details are pushed home. The concentration. The move on from that play. That Jets loss early in the season could have snowballed right before this tough stretch. Losing to Zach Wilson, who's not even in the league right. Well, he is, but not even a second string quarterback right now. That could have snowballed entering into this tough stretch of games, but no. The Eagles just always move on. Every bad play, every bad game, they just move on. And they keep their concentration locked in on the next play. That's all that matters. Nick Sirianni got his team better coached. And that's the thing. It's not lucky that the Eagles win. They're just a better coached team. They're a more focused team. They're a more dedicated to the main goal. Team above individual. Skippy got our boy steaming this morning. I don't steam over Skippy Payless. I don't. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I do not respect the man. There was a time early in his career, early in his ESPN career, that I thought he was a pretty entertaining character. But once he crushed Dak Prescott for mourning his brother who committed suicide, and he mourning him publicly, and he said that, I've never respected the man since then. But the guy's become a cartoon character of himself. He used to actually know sports a little bit. He knew the clickbait game a little bit sooner than most people, but the guy was semi-knowledgeable. But then once he went that route, I'll never respect the man again. Never. Ever, ever. It's like when they say boxers get lucky because of one punch. The one punch doesn't negate the 12 rounds of fighting. Yeah, absolutely. It's also like a boxer, that one punch, well, you put a lot of effort over 12 rounds setting that one punch up. You put a lot of effort in training so that you could find that one opportunity to land that one punch. I've watched boxing and UFC fights. Guy just dances around, takes punches, just got his hand cocked, just waiting for that one opportunity. And he trained for 3 months for that one opportunity to throw that one blow, one knockout blow. There's so much more training, practice, work to go into making sure those fine details are perfected. And the Eagles aren't lucky the last 5 weeks. The Eagles just are a better, well-trained oil machine than everybody else. Bills are cursed, always have been. I mean, that might be. I mean, who knows? I will say I got into it. I put out a tweet about coaches getting fired yesterday after the show, and I had Sean McDermott on that list, and some idiot told me no way in the world that Sean McDermott gets fired. And I'm like, there ain't no way that Sean McDermott's safe right now. He never misses the playoffs. Well, you know what? Just getting the playoffs isn't always enough. Von Miller is so washed. Who cares at this point? I'm moving on from the Bills players. I don't care about the Bills anymore. Shaq Lawson and Jordan Phillips says Eagles fans is that old situation of them shoving an Eagles fan after the game. Supposedly that Eagles fan was very, very over the top harassing the players. Still, players got to be better and not do that. Eagles security's got to be better to keep them separated. Bills security got to keep their players away from the fans. There's a lot that goes into that. And there's a lot of parties in the wrong in that situation. That's not what Philly is. Every city's got a drunk fan causing problems. We're not the first city to do that. A Niners win, then I'll start my second string to play. Yeah, I mean, look, the Niners game's not going to be easy. Obviously, we're getting massively disrespected by the fact that the 49ers are still favored in this game. And the line started one way, it dropped down because Eagles fans were pouncing on it. It's gone back up. I went plus 130, Eagles money line yesterday. I was like, it's a slam dunk play. I don't know if the Eagles are going to beat the 49ers or not, but the Eagles are 10-1. And if you don't bet better than even money on the Eagles to beat the 49ers just straight up, I don't know. You don't know bet. I mean, you got to make that bet. And speaking of those Niners, I mean, I looked at it yesterday in DraftKings. I mean, the Eagles are 10-1. They're a lucky team, though. You go to DraftKings Sportsbook to the futures, the Eagles are still not the Super Bowl favorites. They're not even the second Super Bowl favorite. The 49ers, who have, 3 losses on the season, are still the favorite on DraftKings to win the Super Bowl at 4-1. The Chiefs, 4.25 to 1 to win the Super Bowl. You got to go to third with the Eagles at 4.50, 4.5 to 1. Then the Finns and Ravens are 8 to 1. Cowboys are 9 to 1. What kind of utter you just played in the Super Bowl? You know the narrative that it's hard to repeat. Teams that lose in the Super Bowl always struggle next year. They're 10-1 again. They're not even the favorite to get out of their own conference right now at 10-1 after just making it to the Super Bowl. It's mind-boggling, the national narrative. And somebody told me, I put the show on Twitter just to promote it, and somebody commented, "Who cares that it's better that people consider us lucky." Who cares? I get the who cares mentality of it, but I also kind of think to an extent I do care because I want respect, and I don't want people making excuses when we beat them. If they recognize how great we are, then they can't make excuses. Well, this drop happened, or that flag didn't happen, or this or that. Excuses. The lack of respect the Eagles get opens the door for more excuses, which devalues what we're doing. If we get some respect across the board somewhere, then all of a sudden, what we're doing actually means a little bit more. They got in a fight. Yeah, there was a little pushing and shoving. Eagles fans will turn on themselves if things go bad. No, see, here's the thing. It's okay, booing. Pay $500 a ticket. Your team comes out and drops a dumpster fire of a first half. It's raining. It's cold. Of course they're going to boo. That's a fan's right. This gets back into the conversation we had last week about Greg Popovich telling fans on the mic to stop booing the opposing team. Booing is part of being a fan, and you are perfectly allowed to boo whenever you want, as long as you do it in a respectful way. As long as you're not chanting obscenities, as long as you're not calling players, supposedly the Bills players, their families were being threatened by this dude on the bench, on the sideline, whatever. I don't know. There's no proof or whatever, but I'll take the Bills players' words for it. It's got to really do something to fire up a player to go shove a fan. That's too much. But booing, I don't care. I'm all for the booing, 100%. What's the difference between luck and lack of execution? Perspective, Marshawn. That's what it is. It's perspective. And the perspective is people that want to hold the Eagles back or aren't fans of the Eagles will call it we got lucky. People that respect the Eagles and Eagles fans will say the other teams didn't have execution. They lost focus. The Eagles executed better. The Eagles didn't execute it first, didn't let their heads hang. Because easily, any of these games that we've been down at the half, it would have been very easy for the Eagles to just, we just don't have it today. Darn, we'll get them next week. No, they don't hang their heads. They stay focused on what the goal is at hand, and they continue to try to execute till the last second on the clock. And that's why these close games go the Eagles' way, because they execute down the stretch better than anybody else in football. and Marshall, I think it's a fantastic comment towards this topic here. The difference is perspective, but it's also the difference in winning games and losing games, the second half of it, executing or not executing down the stretch. But I love that comment. Fantastic comment. TMC, never seen a game in Philly. No, not at all. Travis, we fumbled by ourselves, bumping into each other, and a tipped interception. Yeah, I mean, all those things. I mean, but we didn't let the tipped interception. We didn't let the fumble. We didn't let those things stop us from coming back and winning the game. And that's on the coaching and Jalen Hurts keeping these players focused all game long. All right, yeah, we made a mistake. That interception, I got into it on Twitter with somebody saying that it wasn't Jalen Hurts' fault, that tip balls happen all the time. Jalen Hurts gets a lot of balls tipped at the line of scrimmage. A lot of his interceptions come on tip balls. He's got to be better with that. No excuses. And guess what? He was better with that throughout the game. So, you know, it's a staying on the course. Staying the course of what the game plan is. And the game plan is to beat your opponent. Well, I'm not trying to get beat up. You won't get beat up. As long as you are smart, you would not get beat up. There's plenty of fun, loving Eagles fans at the games. Chiefs missed on a wide open deep pass for the win. Eagles execute on their deep pass to give them the lead. Exactly. Yes. They dropped. You know, did he get cut from the team yet? I mean, he should have for dropping that pass. Wide open. Perfectly thrown ball by Patrick Mahomes. They just didn't execute to 100%. The Eagles did. Look at the deep pass to Olamide Zaccheaus on Sunday against the Bills. Olamide gets thrown one ball a week. He's out there to block, play special teams, be a decoy, be this, be that. He's not part of the passing offense regularly, but he stays focused. He keeps his mind ready for the next play. And he goes out there and he executes a play that took, if he had 99% focus on that pass into the end zone to him, he does not make that catch. He had to be 100% laser focused to make that play. And he was in that moment. Didn't let anything he did earlier in the game change him whatsoever. There's a difference. It's execution. It's staying focused. It's staying in the moment. Forgetting about the last mistake. Letting the last mistake not affect the next play. So that's why it's not luck. And that's one of the many reasons that it's not just luck. Bills are cursed by Satan. Maybe. I'm not trying to catch charges. You won't catch charges. Don't worry. 49ers are loaded, but they do have weaknesses. We just have to expose them. The Bills are loaded. They just had weaknesses. We exposed them. The Chiefs are loaded. They have weaknesses. We exposed them. Dallas is loaded. We exposed them. The Dolphins are loaded. We exposed them. Think about it this way, mister. Everyone says we're lucky. And these are as of yesterday, okay? Not when we played them. Some of these teams were ranked higher. I know Buffalo was ranked higher before we played them and then fell in the rankings because we put up 37 against them. The Bills' defense is ranked 10th in the NFL. We put 37 up on them. The Chiefs' defense is ranked 4th in the NFL. I think it was 3rd when we played them. We beat them. Dallas' defense is ranked 3rd. I think it was ranked 4th or 5th when we played them. We beat them. The Dolphins' defense is ranked 7th. I think it was 6th when we played them. So we beat. And Washington is the 4th worst defense in football. I don't know where they were ranked when we played them. But just think about it. 4 of the last 5 defenses are top 10 defenses. And we beat them. We made more plays when it mattered than the other team. Why is it lucky that we're 10-1? Why are we the worst 10-1 team of all time? And I'm talking lucky. I'm not even mentioning that aspect of the national narrative. When it's not like we're beating Carolina, Chicago, all these deadbeat teams. We're beating the elite of the elite. Everyone said the Eagles have the hardest schedule in football. We are beating that hard schedule. We are 10-1. Yet instead of putting respect on them for beating all these great teams that we were supposedly going to lose to, the conversation instead is, well, we didn't beat them. they beat themselves, or we just got lucky because of one play here or one play there. That's what's frustrating. National media dismisses the Eagles. Yeah, at first I always thought it was just it's the clickbait aspect of it. But also on the flip side of it, some of it is they just don't think the Eagles they bury themselves in a hole, and instead of just admitting they're wrong, the national media, they just dig a bigger ditch. They dig a deeper ditch. It's kind of frustrating, isn't it? Bills had miscommunication on zero blitz coverages from the Eagles. Jalen ran the ball for the touchdown on Bills' single high safety because Kelsey pancaked. It's execution, Marshawn. That's it. We executed on that play better than the Bills did. We kept ourselves in the game, and when it was crunch time, we executed better. It wasn't luck. It was better execution. Jason Avant and Quentin Michael just dropped a great video discussing the play, Marshawn. Yeah, I've seen quite a few people break down what happened on that play. Better execution. The Bills had a mental lapse. Great teams don't have mental lapses in the best, toughest, highest leverage situation. That's what it is. That was a high leverage situation. The Eagles were ready for it. The Bills weren't. That's one of the many reasons why Sean McDermott needs to go. It's funny. I was thinking back yesterday while I was prepping the ideas and the theory of where we were going to start this show. And I got plenty of other topics we can get into if you want. I got a lot of comments to catch up on as well. But I was thinking about that Bills-Chiefs playoff game from 2021. They're back and forth in the final 2 minutes in overtime. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I always thought, I've always been a big Jalen Hurts supporter. But I always thought, is Jalen Hurts capable of competing with the elites of the elites, the Josh Allen, the Patrick Mahomes, in that type of situation? Let me tell you something. I think I've answered my question. The Eagles and Jalen Hurts have answered my thoughts. Yes, Jalen Hurts can compete in any situation. Why? Because he's a damn good quarterback, but he mentally is stronger than anybody else out there. He mentally stays laser focused on the next play so well that if he goes down and scores and the opposing team comes back and scores right after that, there's never any doubt that Jalen Hurts could re-lead them back again. I go back, if this team was playing in the Super Bowl last year, statistically speaking, this team isn't as good. But mentally speaking, this team is tougher. We always say it. Jalen Hurts, if he would have gotten the ball back at the end of the Super Bowl, would have led a game-winning drive. There's no doubt in my mind. And this year is proving that even more because we're facing more adversity week in and week out this year than last year. And every time we face that adversity, we're coming out better and winning. Again, I asked, what is the difference between being lucky and lacking execution from the other team? And I said it. It's perspective. We're being honest, and our perspective is honest, that we're just executing better. We've been and stayed underdogs. We used to it by now. I get that, and I get that theory. I just don't know if I want to be respected. I want this morning show to be respected. I don't want to be the underdog. I don't want to, someone would say, oh, you got the best morning show that no one knows about. Well, you know what? I don't want that. I want everybody to know about it. I want everybody to know the Eagles are the best damn team in football. And they deserve to be 10-1 right now. They're not lucky. They're not the worst 10-1 team of all time. They are 10-1. We're not talking 3-0 or 4-0. We're 12 weeks into the season, and they're still dominating every opponent. K1, I need to follow the OG's podcast. That's right. You can boo, but it's ridiculous because you're 9-1. We're actually 10-1 now. But I get what you're saying. But it's letting the players know we're not happy. We're not going to accept this. Yeah, you're 9-1. You can't just come out here and sleepwalk through this game because it's raining. No. We need better. And guess what? Second half. Switch was turned. We boo because we love. We do. We boo because we want better. We want the best. We demand the best. It's not a bad look. You just don't get what real people. You switch from being a Bills fan to an Eagles fan like that. You just don't get it. You just don't get Philly fandom. The Eagles have more fight than has more fight than failing marriage. um, People that love you tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. When we boo, it is because we love you and know you could do better. Peanut, that's a fantastic perspective on it. Right there. My God, Eric's been in the comment section for a while, and I'm just getting to his comment that he's here. I guess I'm pro boo. I was just surprised. What's up, Freddie Defo? The Birds are like Rocky Balboa. We let our opposition punch themselves out, and then we turn it up in the last round to get the win. Yeah. There's a little rock. I hate the Rocky at every Eagles game, the Rocky sound always at sporting events. I do, honestly. I'm so rockied out, but it's a great analogy for sure. And we're finally at Eric's first comment of the day. Good morning. What is up, Eric? Yeah, let's get caught up on some comments here. You all know who will never be booed? Eric. Boo, Eric. Boo, Eric. Yeah, it just feel natural. This guy who does a Bills show went to a game and had a great time with Eagles fans. Because Eagles fans are the best. You respect us, we'll respect you. You damn right we better than Eric. Let me get caught up here. Kelsey, pants are limited. I highly doubt a fan was threatening the Bills player's family. The tickets are way too expensive. Supposedly, the Bills players asked for the fan to be removed, and security chose not to. So that tells me that maybe the Bills fan or Bills player was overreacting a little bit, but I don't know. But they still got to do better. Zacchaeus got the touchdown. That's right. Lamade. I tagged him in something yesterday. I'm really hoping that he responds to it. Maybe I get Lamade on here. Eric saying, I commented on someone yesterday who made a refs comment. I said, yeah, I know if it wasn't for the refs and all the teams losing to us, instead we'd be 1-10. But unfortunately, yeah, exactly. We live in a reality for sure. 13 seconds. Bills were torching the Waggles. I don't know if that was accidental or not, all day with that same route out of the slot. But Bradbury made a great play coming off the defender to intercept the pass. I want to talk about Slay and Bradbury in a little bit here. I want to get caught up on comments, though. I need coffee. So do I. Phil is good at getting dude. Josh ran for a touchdown and was converting 3rd and long with his feet all game, except when 370-pound Jordan Davis chased him down. Lack of execution. Jordan Davis staying in the moment. Jordan Davis laying his body on the line for the team. There's a difference. It's the mental edge. Mental edge. I love reading the haters in game when we are down. All the Jalen is not him. Carson, yeah, absolutely. They can't wait for Jalen to play bad just so that they can come out. And then once he plays good, quiet. They zip it up real quick. Phil is better on the then LA night. Yeah. No. I'm the best, actually. Yes. Philly love is not for everybody. It's a special kind of bond. It's a special kind of love. Security stood on business for not removing the fans. Yeah, it's interesting. I really, do you just assume that the player is accurate in what he said the fan says? Do you do more investigation? Like, how do you do that? Do you just take the player's word for it? Do you take the fan's word for it? Who knows? And who knows what happens. Guys, we got 10 likes only on the video so far on YouTube, 2 on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button for me, please. I'd greatly appreciate it. Had a great show yesterday. I had, I think, with replays, we got up to 33, 34 likes. So I'd greatly appreciate it. Someone up here mentioned James Bradbury and how he made a great interception because he was there. We have crushed our secondary for a while now. And look, we gave up a lot of yards yesterday or on Sunday. But our two main cornerbacks who played all 90-plus snaps in the game yesterday, played pretty well, honestly. Darius Slay, in coverage, on Sunday against the Bills. Josh Allen was 1 for 5 throwing his way for 22 yards and a 39.6 quarterback rating. James Bradbury did give up a touchdown early in the game. But Josh Allen was 6 for 15 for 62 yards, a 42 quarterback rating. Yes, that touchdown, but also the interception. So combined, they were a 7 for 20 throwing against our top two cornerbacks. Maybe Slay and Bradbury are finally catching a rhythm, finally catching a groove a little bit right now. Maybe now that Braden Robbie's there and getting healthy, maybe now that Kevin Byard is finally getting integrated into the defense a little bit better. Maybe now that we're healthy in the secondary, Reed Blankenship, maybe all of a sudden Slay and Bradbury, maybe we jump the gun on them being washed. Now we'll find out in San Francisco. We'll see what Brock Purdy looks like. We'll see how Brock Purdy plays on Sunday against them. You got Debo, you got Ayuk, you got Kittle, you got CMC. You got 4 guys that you got to stop every single play. We'll see. But Slay and Bradbury, considering we gave up 500 yards of offense, actually performed pretty well on Sunday. That's not the comment I wanted. We're going to get to the top comments first. Bills kicker missed a field goal in the first half. Jake Elliott made a 59-yard field goal in the storm to force overtime. Execution. Staying focused. I don't think it's a doubt anymore. I don't think there's a conversation who's the best kicker in Eagles history, Elliott or Akers. It's Jake Elliott. This is no disrespect to David Akers whatsoever. I bet you if you asked David Akers would say Jake Elliott is the better kicker in Eagles history now. It's just the way it is. It's facts. Phil's beard stands on business. My beard, it's a little shaggy today. Didn't have time to brush it this morning. So Phil, you think fans should be able to talk about players? No, I never said that. I said booing is okay. I said respectful booing and chanting is okay. I said that if you say things about people's families, if you use obscenities, that is not okay. But it happens. It shouldn't happen, but it does. But booing is perfectly okay. It's the right of a fan to boo as loud as they want, as long as they're just booing and making noise. Once they attack families, once they say things that are certain types of words and phrases, that's when it gets out of hand. But that happens in every city, man, chatter. Every city. Actually, it happens more in other cities than it does in Philly. But Philly's got the bad reputation because 600 years ago, one drunk person did something bad. There's a big difference there. Huge difference there. Eagles blocked that field goal in the first half, actually. The refs blocked it. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Jalen Carter didn't block that. Jalen Carter watches, for a young kid, more film than anybody else out there. I've never seen a defensive tackle talk about film watching so much. And he said, I was watching film on their field goal team, and so that I knew if I had a chance to block a field goal, I'd be capable of it. Jalen Carter isn't just a great football player. He's a great worker, too. He puts in the work 7 days a week, watching film on the planes, watching film of special teams, everything. Watching film on how to intercept a quick throwdown to stop the clock. Like he's literally he's soaking up as much knowledge every minute of everything to become. There's always going to be that comparison. Can he become the next Aaron Donald? Well, he's putting in the work. He knows he could become the next Aaron Donald, so he's putting the work in every single day. But no, the refs blocked it. I love it. And if Davis doesn't return the wrong way, Slay gives up the game-winning touchdown. But he didn't. That's all that matters. The execution was there when it mattered. One was blocked field goal and the other was a missed field goal, right? Yeah, he had 2 misses. One was blocked, one wasn't. That may have been the second half of the missed. I don't remember which one was when in the game, but they had 2 field goal attempts that did not result in points. It's execution. Jake Elliott, ready in the moment. It's pouring rain. It's a monsoon. You get iced because they burn a timeout there. You got 59 yards in a monsoon. And no big deal. Got it. I got it. No problem. We're lucky. We're the worst 10-1 team of all time. I was Frankie Baby as a consultant. I don't even know what that means. Sorry. That's right over my head. Luck is a loser's excuse Winners never blame or count on luck. They plan, they play, they execute. I'm done with the luck narrative. Peanut, I agree with you. And if the Eagles lost the game, Jalen Hurts wouldn't be making excuses. If the Eagles lost the game, he wouldn't be blaming anybody but himself and his poor play. If the Eagles lost the game, they would be working 10 times harder this week than ever before because they look at themselves in the mirror when things don't go right. And what do we each have to do better for the betterment of the team? There's no loser mentality or loser excuses with this team. It's just not the way it's done. It's not the way this culture and locker room have been built. And you got to love it. You have to love that there is no loser mentality with this team. Good morning, Zeke. How you doing today? We're talking about the national narrative that the Eagles are just lucky and how blatantly false that narrative is, or the narrative that the Eagles are the worst 10-1 team of all time. When 4 of those 10 wins have come against, in the last 5 weeks, 4 top 10 defenses in the NFL. 4 teams that were predicted to make the playoffs. Some teams that are ranked higher than the Eagles in the odds to win the Super Bowl. The fan said Jordan Phillips' mama's so fat that so he made a mama joke. It's inappropriate. You just don't make jokes like that. You just don't. But that's what Jordan Phillips said. I don't know. I don't know. Kelsey had 2 costly false starts to push the field goal to be 59 yards, but his pancake block on Hurts' game-winning touchdown play execution, staying focused in the moment, not letting past mistakes affect you going forward. Jake Elliott didn't I'm preparing for a 49-yard field goal in a monsoon. Oh, no, Kelsey made 2 false starts. I got no chance now. No, staying focused. There's 2 people that stayed focused in this situation, Elliott and Kelsey. Elliott stayed focused to give them the chance to get to overtime, and then Kelsey stayed focused in overtime. Execution. It's execution, not luck. It's working on the finer details, not luck. And that's just the way it is. But K1, he did turn the wrong way. Scantling dropped the ball. If he caught it, they win. But he didn't. Mistakes. Execution. My point was that our D-backs need to be better is all, especially with our linebackers going down. Look, what my point on Bradbury and Slay is, K1, isn't that they don't have to be better. They do have to be better. But I think they're starting to slowly turn a corner to be better. That's all I'm saying. They are trending, pun on words, in the right direction. They're trending upward a little bit game by game. What's up, Fly23? That kid Carter makes plays every game, yet alone every snap. Look, Jalen Carter, I don't know what else there is to say about the dude. The guy's a beast. The guy's a monster. The guy has the potential to be one of the all-time greats. And Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, if they could stay healthy, have the potential to be one of the greatest defensive tackle tandems in football. They are so good. We just went from having the best cornerback tandem last year to having the best defensive tackle tandem this year. I mean, it's insane. It really is. And that play, Carter's play was great all game, but that Jordan Davis play, chasing Josh Allen down, I was already a Jordan Davis fan. But man, it just puts such a smile on my face. These rookies and young players all impacting the game. Absolutely, they are. Understood. Yeah, we're all on the same page to an extent. We also have different feelings on it. What's up, Kyle? Good morning. Did you see Colin Coward said that Jalen Hurts might be the most poised NFL player he's ever seen? I did not see that, and that's great. Then a national media person's finally saying something positive, for sure. And that's the thing. And if he did say this is the most accurate thing. He might not be the best thrower of the football. Justin Herbert might have a prettier spiral. Justin Herbert's the definition of average. Jalen Hurts has that winner's mentality. Jalen Hurts has that Mamba mentality. Jalen Hurts has that my best is never good enough mentality. All he wants to do is play football and win games. I'll take Jalen Hurts over 99% of the quarterbacks in football. Maybe not maybe 100. That was Quentin's analysis anyway, Marshawn, and he's smarter than me. No. Don't sell yourself short, K1. Everybody's smarter than you. Oh, I have opinions about this. Bring it on. Bring all the opinions in. We're working through these opinions. I have like a dozen other things written down here, but we haven't gotten to anything outside of the Slay Bradbury part, and nothing else on here has been brought up yet. But that's good because we got 3 more shows this week. Nobody's saying that tipped ball interceptions on Hurts was lucky. Well executed by the Bills defense. Absolutely. And Jalen Hurts had to be better. That's it. Duck, what is up? Good morning, my man. Welcome to the party today. Jack Driscoll had a hard start, but he stayed with it and don't think I heard his name called. Yeah, execution, staying in. Jack Driscoll didn't have a great game. He didn't have a bad game. He had a bad first drive. But he didn't let that first drive set the team back. Refocused. All right, that drive's over. Next drive's up. What can I do better? Seriously, if you let a fan's mama joke affect you, that's a mama joke. I mean, we were saying them in 1989. No butt fumblers over here. We locked in. Staying locked in every play. If the Bills were winning, then the players would have never responded to the crowd. Culture. Culture is such an important word in sports, in all sports. I watched that Sixers game last night, and I know it's all about the culture. That's what I want to talk about. Not the Sixers game, but the Sixers had a huge lead, and then close to the end of the first half, that lead evaporates to like 12 or 14 points. Let the Lakers back in it. Under the Doc Rivers culture, the Sixers probably come out in the second half and lay a stinker. But Nick Nurse is changing the culture, changing the winning mentality and philosophy of these players. And you know what? They won by 45 or something like that, the Sixers. Nick Nurse has not allowed the losing mentality to get into this locker room. We have beaten all the AFC teams projected to get to the Super Bowl, except the Ravens. And we have beaten every team in the NFC projected to go to the Super Bowl, other than the Niners, and that will happen this weekend. But even if it doesn't happen, you're not going to see us making excuses. You know what we'll talk about? We'll talk, why did we lose the game? Who didn't execute? Who didn't play well? Where do we have to improve? We wouldn't be making excuses. Everybody else will make excuses. That's all there is to it. There's a difference between discussing what went wrong and making excuses. My issue is that other teams that make comebacks is held as almighty, and that it's the insane thing. But when we do it, it's just luck that the other team is messing up. Absolutely. That plays into the national narrative that nobody likes us and we don't care. That plays into that theory. But I'll take this team over any team in the NFL. I'll take this team over any Eagles team in recent history outside of the Super Bowl winning team. Oh, I bet you, I know this is a bold statement, if you put this current crop and the way they're playing up against that Eagles Super Bowl winning team, we win 9 out of 10 times. Right now with this team. It's more talented. It's more focused. Let's be honest, that 2017 team, there's a lot of magical moments. Guess what? Doug Peterson had them executing. There wasn't luck in it. They executed. They weren't talented. They executed. But I would take this team's execution over anybody. Once Kelsey hit the John, he got his focus back. Yeah, he was pinching something off, man. He needed to let loose for a second. He needed to relax for a minute. I'm hitting my mic now. First it wasn't on spot. Now I'm hitting it. He needed to, he was carrying a little extra weight around that he needed to get rid of. I thought after the game, if any player worth $250 million, it's Hurts. Yeah, I think he's justified his contract very well this year. He hasn't had his best season. He's got the team winning, and that's all that matters. I know we all hate the Julio Jones bubble screen, but he ran a fake bubble to take the defender. Oh, we talked about this yesterday briefly, Marshawn, because we've talked about Brian Johnson. Everybody's calling for Brian Johnson's head on a platter because of the bubble screen, because of a lot of things. But those bubble screens set that touchdown up. Those bubble screens, that touchdown doesn't happen if we don't run that bubble screen 100 times unsuccessfully. The safety comes up to stop the bubble screen. Smith gets over the top, wide open for a touchdown. It's execution. It's staying committed to the plan and executing it to a T. We've been getting closer and closer to 30 people watching this show live today. Yesterday, we were north of 30 for a while. Only got 15 likes on YouTube, 3 now on Facebook. Hit that like button, guys. Sixers treated LeBron like he was an old fart, and LeBron still put up some numbers. You know what? I don't want to talk Sixers right this second, but man, it amazes me that LeBron James, at his age, 20 years in the NBA, is still averaging almost 26 points a game, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, still playing 35 minutes a game. Man, talk about a physical specimen. If you're going to build the perfect athlete, not perfect basketball player or football player, perfect athlete, you got to look LeBron James's way. The way he takes care of his body, you got look. I appreciate greatness when I say it. The second greatest basketball player of all time, maybe the greatest athlete of all time. There's a difference. How about we start out with the fake bubble screen next game and not run a real bubble? I mean, maybe you flip flop the script a little bit. I want a 50-point win over the Clippers. When's that game? That's coming up soon? I don't even know when that game is. K1, I like that a lot. Yeah, for sure. Fly 23. Winning up without Lane and Dallas is a big deal. And you think Lane plays in the upcoming matchup. Look, the reports yesterday coming out of Philly, coming off the press conferences and stuff, is that Lane Johnson should be back for San Francisco. Him being held out was very precautionary. Obviously, winning in the conference is more important than winning out of the conference. They held him out precautionary. I would put Lane playing on Sunday against the Niners somewhere in that 95 percentile. There's also rumors coming out that Dallas Goedert might be back for the 49ers game, which that's shocking because he just broke his arm, a few weeks ago. I thought he was going on IR, and they did. And I was like, wow, that's kind of shocking. There's a chance Dallas Goedert plays too. And just get your guys back. We're getting healthy at the right time. Jalen Hurts, he looked gimpy at one point on Sunday, but for the most part, ran a little bit better on Sunday. We're getting healthy. We're executing. We're getting healthy. We're trending in the right direction. Players are weak-minded nowadays. Jackie Robinson, Bill Russell got death threats. Dude, I don't know how factually accurate 42 the movie is, the Jackie Robinson story. But when you watch it, and even if it's just partially accurate, some of the things that were shot at him, and I've read the story about the Philadelphia Phillies coach or manager that was shot obscenities the first time he came to Philly at him. Man, the difference in the thickness of skins between back then and now, there's a big gap there. Big gap there. So we are okay with talking about Mama, K1. Well, it's time for me to talk about no, stop. Let's be polite. This is a friendly environment. You only won because of a 60-yard field goal to go to overtime. Well, no shit. We had to execute the deal. Yeah. Generally saw someone say something similar to that. I might be exaggerating. No, you might be exaggerating, but you also might be 110% accurate. I mean, everything's an excuse. And we didn't hit a 60-yard field goal. We hit a 59-yard. If you're going to exaggerate accurately. Good morning, reality check. How you doing this morning, my man? Are we doing mama jokes? Say no. We're not doing mama jokes. I'm not going to repeat mama jokes if they're in there. Fight me. Yeah, you guys are going to fight there. That's just the Eagles' narrative this year. They beat the teams they had to beat. They don't have anything left to prove. And I think that's an interesting thing. What do they have left to prove? What left to prove? That's an excellent tweet right there. I really think so. Can't wait to be the worst team to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, I'll take being the worst team in the league at 10-1 if it means a Super Bowl. I don't care. I want another title, but I still want respect, Judlin. For some reason, I'm in the minority that I want national respect. I want the Eagles to get their just due. I don't want to hear excuses from other people. Watching that Jalen winning run, I was screaming, hold on to the ball because it looked like he was about to, yeah. On replay, he carries it with two hands. Execution. That's the word of the day. I'm just writing that down really big and bold here in my book. Execution. That's the word of the day. Isn't that like a Sesame Street? The word and number of the day. The word of the day is execution. And that's the answer to, are the Eagles just lucky? No. They just execute better. Lane and Dallas back possibly next week. The Clippers game in Philly is in March, and it's on ESPN. They could do something funny and have Glenn Rivers and JJ Redick call that game. That would be kind of funny. It would be. Yeah, I thought it wasn't until later in the year. The way you said it, I thought it might be coming up, and I might have mistaken. Dallas coming back next week would be crazy. I still remember his arm. It makes my tummy hurt. Yeah, I can't imagine him coming back that quickly. He would have to have a brace on it. I don't know how that would work. But Lane being back obviously would help massively. But the fact that we're getting healthy at the right time is great. I don't want DG coming back early. I remember Gronk doing that, and he re-injured his broken arm. It's a great point. I forgot about that. Look, it's funny. We win games when we all know the record of the Eagles when Lane Johnson misses games. That was one of the first wins in a while, missing Lane Johnson on Sunday. But for some reason, we still win without our record. I think we're like 6-0, 7-0 in the last couple of years, missing Lane Johnson or Dallas Goedert. I mean, it's kind of insane to think about it. You have an all-pro level tight end. It's not an all-pro because he gets hurt a lot. People never talk about how injury-prone Dallas Goedert is. Not that the broken arm was his fault. That was a cheap play. But he does get hurt a lot. But we seem to win. We just do. This old Phillies coach is why Phil fell in love with me. No, stop. Executing a screenplay is so detail oriented. When your team runs it properly, that's a sign of a very well coached team. Yeah, absolutely. We Bills fans are coping. Yeah, I don't know what Judlin was thinking with that comment. Me and K1 throwing hands. No throwing hands. It's all peace, love, and understanding here. Sometimes I sneak them in. Yeah, you sneak them in, all right. That's what she said. I see you sneaking them in. Yeah, we all say it. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We did. Thank you very much. So we clinched the playoff on Sunday, first team this year. I thought we did, but there's no X next to the Eagles team name on ESPN. So I don't think we actually did yet. I don't know. Is Britton Covey the best return in the league? He very damn well might be, Zach. He very damn well might be. He might be. Nick Sirianni said it yesterday. Can't believe we cut him at one point. He's the best in the league. He's done a damn good job. And slowly but surely this year, I'm fearing less and less for his safety every time he catches the ball. I used to think that he was just going to get demolished every time he catches the ball. But he does a damn good job. Interesting thing is Kelsey had multiple pull blocks to pave the way for massive runs. Bills never adjusted and got burnt on the game-winning touchdown. Execution. Every one of these statements, you could put the word execution at the end of it. And Marshawn is. There's a difference between executing for every single play, every single moment, and there's executing when it doesn't matter in the first half and losing focus in the second half and overtime. That's it. Execution. It's such a key thing. Who needs Goddard when we have Aqua Bowman? Aqua Bowman, I think, only saw the field for like 10 snaps. Like, I don't even think he even – we had 67 plays of offense. And I think he was on the field for 10 of them. I don't even remember him on the field. I only know that from the snap counts. I think the Aqua Bowman train turns out to be a waste of a trade, honestly, at this point. Lamade. Execution. The execution on that Lamade Zacchaeus touchdown. You had to have 110% laser focus in that end zone to catch that ball. Execution. Focus. Staying in the moment. So important. It's so cold. That's why I got a hoodie on in here. Can I put this back up for a little bit? Kind of chilly. Keep the heat set at like 61 in this house. It's cold in this house. Britton Covey as a returner is like spicy mayo. Safe with it, but with a little kick. Dude, the guy makes plays. He's actually very, very good at picking the right moments when to return kicks and when to call the fair catch. He doesn't really fumble the ball much. Dude, Buffalo had a punt that they kind of bobbled a little bit. They got it back. But, man, could you imagine how hard it is to concentrate looking up into the pouring rain, 35 degrees out. It's cold, it's windy, it's raining in your face, and you're looking up, trying to catch and track that ball. And he made a couple good returns on top of it. That catching any punt on Sunday was one of the most difficult things you could do. And he did it, and he did it well. Swift was fresh in overtime. Do you like how we watch his snap count, or should we play more? That's a tough one. Fly 23. It's a very tough question right there. The thing is, we all want to see Swift used more often early in games, but yet he is fresh and late in the game. So what I would suggest, my difference I would make is that when the offense is struggling, you saw one of the big turning points of the game was in the second half, that big Swift run for like 30 or 35 yards. That kind of catapulted the momentum of the offense a little bit. So let's not let the offense struggle. You want to protect them, that's fine. You want to keep them fresh, that's fine. But maybe when the offense is stalling so much, use him for that spark. Get the spark going. Then you can pull him back out and protect him a little bit more, then get to him in the second half. Whenever the team is struggling offensively, use him right from the get-go. Use him from play one. Get that spark going right away. And then it's kind of like, I was thinking about Joel Embiid, but it didn't work out the narrative as I was thinking of. Just use them, get the offense going, protect them for the second and beginning of the third quarter if you have to. And then you've got them for late in the third, fourth quarter overtime, fresh as can be. Whenever the offense is struggling, insert Swift offensively and get that spark. The only thing we don't execute is the hard reset. Oh, man, it's 9:01 and I missed it. That's right. You are watching Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're up to 18 likes on YouTube out of 24 people watching. So make sure you hit that like button. 3 likes on Facebook. I'd greatly appreciate it. I am Phil Stiefel. We're talking, are the Eagles just lucky? And the clear answer is no. They just execute better than everybody else. But that is the question of the day. Are the Eagles just lucky? Are the Eagles just the worst 10-1 team we've ever seen? No, not at all. They're not. I knew Covey doesn't get the yards that some do, but as someone who is reliable and consistent, at least getting between 20, 30 yards, he's great. And also being able to take a hit like a boss. He does take a hit like a boss. Look, I think he's actually better. Like, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. I bet he's top 10 in return yardage, or at least average per return. Actually, I could probably find it pretty quickly. Let's see. Team stat, NFL. No, that's team stats. I want NFL stats. Got it. Defense, offense, player statistics, special teams, punt, special teams. Let's see here. That's punter's average. I don't want that. Returning average. That's what I want. Kickoff return average. Britton Covey is third in the NFL in return average. And one of the guys ahead of them only has 11 returns. Only has played in 5 games. Charlie Jones from Cincinnati. He's only played in 5 games. So Darius Davis from the Chargers averages 16.3. Charlie Jones, 15.8, has only played in 5 games. And Britton Covey, 14.8 yards per return. I think it's more than we realize. Britton Covey is a damn good returner. Aqua Bowman is him. We don't know. Haven't seen him. The NFL is about to drug test Britton Covey if he keeps playing like this. Yeah. Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter got drug tested right after the game. I'm surprised Jordan Davis didn't with that keeping step for step with Josh Allen. I always respected Sean McDermott, but who ices the field goal attempt before they line up for it? Lack of execution. Yeah. Well, icing them with that situation. And then on the return, not giving your quarterback, your all-pro quarterback, 20 seconds to try to get in the field goal range with a touchdown or with a timeout. Could have had 2 timeouts in that situation. Lack of execution. Covey sells weed. He does strike me as somebody that's like the kid in high school that's selling it to all the other kids. Yes, that's right. We did the reset. We got you. We're done. We're catching up here. Olamide Aqua Bowman trending is writing the best comic book movie characters called without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, get your kid on that there, Peanut. He's done some good things. He needs to make a cartoon. I'll come up with the names. He comes up with the cartoons in the story. I think we got a perfect combo there. We did the reset. We did it. 19. I just hit like. We're up to 19 likes now. Yes, let's go. Yesterday we were like 33, 34 likes with replays. Got to pump that up. Got to pump it up. Liam outviews me every week. Yeah, he's got an easier job doing it in the evening and in the morning. And finding people to watch in the morning is not easy. But we got to beat Liam in the ratings. The per show average rating. Obviously, I do 5. He does 3. I get about the same as he does with 5 versus his 3. Those likes help build us up. Duck is the champion. The Eagles are the champion. Duck nailed it like Jake from 60 in the rain. It was 59. There's a big difference between a 59-yard field goal and a 60-yard. Yeah, exactly. Covey sells weed would make a dope T-shirt. Yeah, it would. I don't know how quickly that would get spammed or cut off because of it, but man, he look like he don't. Um, Primetime Covey must be the money. If Covey's selling, I'm buying. Liam gets the sympathy views. Does he? I need some sympathy views. I don't want to be the forgotten man in the morning. I want to be the best man in the morning. And it's because of execution. I execute by getting up when that alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m. every single day. I execute by getting up and turning my computer on every single morning. I execute by coming up with a title for every day. I execute. Give me some sympathy views. Liam don't got a loyal core. Liam's got some loyal guys that tune in daily. Crash Test Covey is still one of the best names. I love the nickname Crash Test Covey. I think it's a fantastic nickname. I don't think it gets much better than that. I really don't. I don't know. He had more than enough leg to have it. Did like Tony Romo say, "Oh, that could have been good from 65." I don't know if it could have been. It was kind of swaying off to the side there a little bit towards the end. But yeah, he executed them. Phil, you are the connoisseur's watch. It's like an acquired taste. Oh, is that what it is? Is that what it is? I'm an acquired taste. I guess. My wife said that. About me. She needed time to realize I was the one. Phil, you should live stream a game. I know you've been saying that for 500 years now. I'm not live streaming games right now. I don't have the time. I already put a lot of time into this. I don't make nearly enough money to do this any more than I already do. And that would take even more execution that I'm just not prepared to do. What are you prepared to do? I'm not prepared to execute another 3 hours a week. I have been a Chap 12 for years. There are a lot of Chap 12. There are a lot of people. Liam has quite the reputation dating back for years. He kind of went away from streaming. I reinvigorated his streaming by doing this show, and that's why you can thank me that Liam is back. Phil should do a British accent on Tuesdays and Thursdays. No. My accents are not good. Acquired Phil, yeah, exactly. Hertz, that would be a hoot. Yeah, your decision to not stream is dude. Again, I already commit 7.5 hours a week to you chaps in the morning. You want me to commit 3 more hours to you guys? Man, I make like $3 an hour doing this. I don't make nothing. And you want me to do more? You guys are nuts. Nuts. 7.5 hours is not enough on top of running a pizza shop 7 days a week, Kylie? I don't think so. Let me see you do 7.5 hours of Bell Smashers Pod. Or, shit, I just screwed up your show's name. Damn it. Follow Kylie, guys. She's a new writer for Philadelphia Sports Network. Great Phillies podcast. How I screwed up your name. I'm sorry. Just cancel me right now. You're a Royal 12 member. I am not a Royal 12. King of the Royal 12. There we go. It's good content. It is good content. But I'm not doing more shows. Guys, I can't do more. I can't. If anything, I got to do less. Make what I do even more effective by doing less. That would be the ideal thing. Only 7.5 hours. I know. Everybody demands more out of Phil. Everybody in my life demands more. If Phil makes $100 a week in the super chat, then he will live stream a game. His words exactly. Yeah, I need to make $100 a week in the super chat every week for several weeks, and then I would do it. Not just 1 week. Or we're well on our way, because thanks to Keith, with the $20 super chat today. Again, much respect to Keith for the $20 super chat today. Phil makes $100 a week in the. I didn't start. That's why I put it back up there. That's all we get. 7.5 is all you get, man. That's the max you're getting. Kylie, you are related to a famous pilot. I don't think she is. Jalen Hurts would put in the work. Because Jalen Hurts puts in work regularly. I got to put in more work. No, I put in a lot of work. I don't think people realize how much. I know you guys are just busting my stones, but you are related to a famous pilot. There's no way. No way. That's Sully. Um, I actually am. Really? That's interesting. Group private chat with Kylie coming from me in a little bit after this show ends. Gotta find out if that's real. Um, where was I? Yeah, no, Jalen Hurts puts in the work. I can never compete with the work that Jalen Hurts puts in. I just couldn't. There's zero chance. Yeah. um, there's no way anybody could put the work in that Jalen Hurts. I just don't have that Mamba mentality like Jalen Hurts to put more work in. But execution, the execution for the work I do put in is there. The execution is there. And I think that has turned. We have changed this show from are the Eagles just lucky? Are the Eagles just the worst 10-1 team ever? Into the Eagles are just the 10-1 team that executes better than everybody else. That is just plain and simple what it is. So did I miss the full roast of Brian Johnson? We have honestly mentioned Brian Johnson's name only once this entire show. I wanted to talk about Frank Reich and versus Brian Johnson, Deuce Staley, Josh McCown, all these names that have been, be made available by the Carolina Panthers. But I'm not as down on Brian Johnson as others. Because again, Bills defense, 10th ranked in the NFL. Chiefs defense, 4th ranked. Dallas, 3rd ranked. Finns, 7th ranked. It's not like we're playing these scrub defenses and barely winning. He's coaching an offense against top-tier defenses week in and week out. I don't know if I even want to read this comment here. Eagles have been lucky, and their luck began against the New England Patriots, against the Niners. The Niners are least likely to blooper themselves to losing the game. The Eagles are the best, but lucky. I got to disagree with you. We just execute it better. It's not luck, it's execution. Now, maybe the 49ers execute on Sunday better than the Eagles do. Maybe. But you're never going to have to doubt the Eagles putting in 110% and staying laser focused all game. It's not. It's execution. It's not luck. I think there's a drastic difference between those two words right there in this situation. We're final 15 minutes of the show. We're up to 21 likes on YouTube, only 4 on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button, please. I greatly appreciate it. So what's their name? I cranked myself up. It ain't luck. I agree with you. It's not luck. It's execution. Knows everything. Yeah, he does. He does. He's a smart man. BG is a street Philly legend. Did you hear him talking smack on the overtime coin toss? Did not. Wait, McNabb was fired, or McCown? Yes, Josh McCown, Deuce Staley, and Frank Reich were all fired from the Carolina Panthers. And there's a lot of Eagles fans that want all 3 of them here. They want Frank Reich as the offense coordinator or an offensive consultant. They want Deuce brought back. They want Josh McCown as the next quarterback coach. Look, there's a reason why Adam Schefter reported yesterday with all the coaches that have been fired already and the ones that will be fired, and there's potentially a lot of coaches getting fired. Brian Johnson is going to be at the top of the list of interview candidates. He is going to get, whether it's this year or next year, his choice in head coaching jobs this offseason or next offseason. Doesn't matter what we think, whether he's a terrible play caller or not. He is going to get a head coaching job. Do we need to bring these guys in? I don't think so. I'm all for having a veteran guy as a consultant. But would Frank Reich just be a distraction at this point because of the fact of where he came from and that he was here before and he was part of this team for so long? Like, I kind of feel like Frank Reich would just be a distraction at this point. And maybe do more harm than good. Maybe Clint Eastwood will make the sequel. I don't think he's acting anymore. I would bring in Reich as a consultant just to keep him in a job, just in case someone comes poaching Johnson in the offseason. We did that with Vic Fangio last offseason. We didn't get Vic Fangio. I just think Frank Reich would be a distraction at this point. That's just my opinion. Johnson is fine. We were scoring about the same amount per game as last year. Casuals need to chill out. Keith, I appreciate you, my man. I do. But I hate the term casuals. I don't think it's casuals as much as it's just frustration. We live in the moment. Most of the people that were calling for Brian Johnson's head were doing it in the first half of the game when we were struggling. And then as the game got better, they stopped calling for it. I think it's just living in the moment more so. But there are people that don't think Brian Johnson should be here. Frank Reich, I just think would distract from him. Eagles are my only team left after you guys wrecked my main one. You're such a traitor on your team. The Giants helmet catch, lucky. Buster Douglas knocks out Mike Tyson, lucky. Maybe. Or maybe they just execute it better. They both also won. Absolutely. I wouldn't want the Carolina job. They have no first or second round picks this upcoming year. And they got a terribly overrated young quarterback, just plain and simple. San Francisco lost to the Vikes. The Vikings that lost to the Bears last night on Monday Night Football, 12-10. I think the Josh Dobbs bubble may have burst last night just a little bit, maybe. We beat the Vikings all the time. You would take Frank Reich back. I personally wouldn't. I just think it would be a distraction. When the Bills won the overtime coin toss, BG said, "It don't matter." I love it. I love the confidence. Nah, man, that ship is out. I agree. Why bring back guys from the previous regime? Why bring back McCown? Why bring back Deuce? Why bring back Wright? That was the previous group. We don't need them. Bring in somebody else. Bring in a fresh set of eyes. Maybe. It'll suck losing 2 offensive coordinators in consecutive years. It really will. And you know what? It's kind of the downward side of being a successful franchise. You're constantly going to have your assistant coaches poached. It's just the way it is. It just is. And I hope, the Eagles have a plan in place for this. And maybe in the offseason, you bring in Frank Reich if Brian Johnson gets poached. Maybe. But I have no problem looking other places. They let the Browns beat them with a ton of off issues. I saw that, Kyle. Yes, absolutely. We love BG. Always have. Against the Cowboys, Dak went up and down the field against us, but he lacked game awareness in the final drive. Lack of execution. Yeah. I think we're all on par here today in the final 12 minutes on what it really is. Once we figure out how other teams are playing, we make adjustments and we get in everybody's best shot. All accurate statements. And you know what? We adjusted. Fly. And guess what? Buffalo didn't adjust. We figured out what Buffalo was doing. We adjusted. They couldn't adjust to our adjustments. And it's not like it was the first time we had to make halftime adjustments on this team this year to be successful. We made the adjustments. And you know what adjustments are? It's execution in the locker room at halftime. It's staying focused at halftime, not DMing people, through Instagram at halftime. Kenny Gainwell. The Bengals kicked them in the nuts, and we are only the 2.5-point underdogs. Look, I still can't get over us being underdogs. I can't. Getting better than plus money on the money line. Shocking. Carolina front office is crap. They got a terrible owner too, Duck. No doubt there. No offense. I don't want Frank Reich here. I don't think it's necessary. But on the flip side of that, I think he got a raw deal in Carolina there. I don't know how much decision-making he had in the sense of drafting Bryce Young and making the trade to get Bryce Young. But let me tell you something. To give a coach with Frank Reich's pedigree 11 games, it's kind of a travesty. It's probably better off for him to get out of there than anything else. I could see bringing them back, but if it isn't broken, we're 10-1. What's broken that we need them? You know what I mean? But the same critics overlook the fact that they couldn't score in the second half last season. The worry trolls annoy me. The worry trolls are annoying. They are. If we were like 6-5 right now, sure, let's bring in somebody to make the next step. But right now, they have everything they need in-house. 1,000% accurate, Judlin. 1,000% accurate. Frank Reich would be best as a consultant. Deuce should have stayed in Detroit. Accurate. Deuce should call Andy Reid. Job security, I think, for him. Look, I think it's time. First and foremost, I love Deuce Staley, legendary Eagle. Not because he did anything extremely successful, but he was a big part of the Eagles franchise. I get it, but I think it's time that we start realizing that maybe he's not a great coach. He's a good coach. He stayed the same in Philly. He never got promotion in Philly. He just stayed the same. He went to Detroit for a similar job, and then had to leave Detroit to go to Carolina for another similar job. He never could ascend in his career. Maybe because he's just an okay coach. Maybe he's just a running backs coach. And that's it. And that's fine. Jeff Stoughton's perfectly fine. It's just an offensive line coach. It's time we back off the Deuce Staley hype train finally on the coaching ranks and circle, for sure, in my opinion. But Frank Reich was done dirty, in my opinion. Absolutely. Phil knows the exact time when the show ends, but can't hit the hard reset. Dude, I got to go to work, dude. Again, I don't make enough money doing this to not go to work. If I made enough money doing this, we do 2-3 hours a day. I would do the morning show, and I would do the afternoon show. I would do live streams, but I don't make enough money doing this. Sorry. Harvey Deuce went to Carolina to be close to his family. I did hear that. Somebody said that to me on Twitter. I didn't know anything about that until yesterday. But again, he's just not maybe he's just not that special of a coaching candidate anymore. The biggest difference between last year's offense and this year's offense is Hurts has quadrupled his turnovers. How many times has Hurts interceptions and fumbles, stall drives? He has. He has lacked execution at times. But what he doesn't do is let that deter him from staying on the game script, staying on plan, which is winning, which is executing in the big moments. How many of those turnovers have come in the final 2 or 3 minutes of game? Just saying. Sirianni is a huge Frank Reich supporter. If we lose Johnson, I bet, without a shadow of a doubt, Frank will. Yeah, I know. And Sirianni gave Reich gave Sirianni his chance as an OC, which got Sirianni the head coaching job here. So Sirianni will give Frank Reich a shot if he wants it next year. We don't need him right now, though. I wouldn't be shocked if he was brought in as a consultant. The Eagles did it last year with Fangio. I wouldn't be shocked if they do it this year. I'm just saying I don't think it's necessary. That's all I'm saying. Would it be cool? Sure. Just not necessary. David Tepper is the worst owner. Is that the Carolina owner? I don't know. I know Carolina's a problem. Bryce Young was an owner pick. Okay, it was the owner, and that the owner is a problem. That's all I'm reading. I don't know a lot about Carolina, but in the last 24 hours, because of Frank Reich and his almost entire staff firing, I'm learning a lot about Carolina. And Mike Kay, he's a former Eagles beat reporter. He's now in Carolina as a beat reporter. Has put out a lot of great articles and comments about the situation. I've interacted with him. I've had him on the show years ago when he was in Philly still. Great guy to follow in the Carolina situation, Mike Kay. K1, a.k.a. Kenneth Martin Gainwell, fumbling the ball anytime he's asked to do something besides block. A lack of execution. That's funny, Judlin. That's funny. How clutch was our special teams has been the last few weeks. Man, you know what? I think that's a great comment from you, Marshawn, because we crushed special teams last year. We crushed the Eagles for keeping Michael Clay, the special teams coordinator, this offseason. In fact, they gave him an extension. We crushed all that. Special teams has been better this year. Our return teams cover a little bit better, or our coverage teams cover a little bit better. They still give up a few too big runs. They cover better. Our return teams have been better. Our kicker is still the best. We figured out our punter situation, sort of. Special teams has been clutch. Hey, now leave my spirit animal. It's easier, spirit animal. Shaq Leonard in Dallas. We know that already. Is there an anytime bet on Kenny G fumble? Fly saying we will always have a swinging door at the coordinator's position if they good or bad. Dude, can we just start talking about the Nick Sirianni coaching tree? How big it's going to get so quickly? He's literally been here 3 years, and 2 of his coordinators are already head coaches. Well, 1 or 2 of them might be a head coach. He might have at the end of this season 4 head coaches in 3 years off his staff. If you're a coordinator somewhere and you want a chance to be a head coach, you come work in Philly. They're gonna get that chance. The Sirianni tree is going to be massive when all's said and done. Deuce left Detroit. He wasn't like, okay, well, I'm learning something new there. The whole him wanting to be closer to family. I didn't know about that till yesterday. So just saying. Um, I doubt it's about execution with the hard resets. Thank you. Deuce is a local hero who honestly was a mediocre coach. Exactly. Maybe he goes coaching in college. Maybe that would work. Maybe he would work better as a college recruiter and coach. We haven't put up enough style points this year. We have scored more winning points. All that matters. Style don't matter. Do I look stylish? I don't care about style points. I was shopping on Temu yesterday. I don't care about style points. I care about winning and execution. We don't know if he's special or not. What we do know, oh well, yeah. Um, Frank is too old. Frank Reich is not old. Reich is getting paid money anyway. He probably just takes a year off. That's possible. So all these woulda, coulda people forget that the Eagles had to come back from mistakes too. If we had those turnovers in any other of those games back, yeah, absolutely. We didn't lose faith at all. Yeah, every show, David Tepper, owner. Yeah. Phil, great execution on the beard. Thank you. Have forgotten the name of our special, Michael Clay. Um, they're doing okay now. They were one of the worst last year. Phil's probably kicking themselves not going for more than, yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to fire through these comments in the final 3 minutes. Announcers cause bias. They live um, to highlight missed calls for the other team. Get Jalen Hurts getting drilled in the backfield on the next play 9 times out. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Bills are idiots. Yes. Frank Reich seen his last head coaching job, and he even stated that it may be his last journey. Wow. He's still young enough. I would think he'd get a chance. Um, another chance eventually. Special teams are playing better, and I don't mean just Jake Elliott. Man, yeah, absolutely. Agree there. Uh, taking the Panthers job was dumb. It was. Yes. Man has been actually good in bad weather, which suppose couldn't. Absolutely. It's spot on. Honestly, huge bias with the announcers. Absolutely. We don't care about style points. You paid for a fake Goddard jersey. Right there. Yeah. That's a DH Gate Goddard jersey back there. My Harden jersey, wherever it's buried, was from some other Jersey Frost site. Come on. Dan Sillyman said Sirianni shouldn't get a raise because he leans on coordinators. Well, what have Gannon and Steichen done without Sirianni? Steichen's actually done pretty good, honestly. Let's be honest. It's noticeably getting worse, makes watching football less enjoyable. Absolutely. Tepper was a minority owner that wanted Tomlin gone, which I agree. Tepper isn't a patient man, it seems. Frank Reich is burned out. Maybe. I don't know. Marshawn, all I get is fake jerseys. That's all I get too. I can't believe I just ordered one on Team. I just ordered a Kelly Green Eagles Hurts from Temu. I don't know what it's going to come like, but it's coming. I can't believe the most pro Eagles announcer this season was Troy Aikman. I know that's true. If we keep commenting, the show doesn't end. Oh, the show ends no matter what. How many Cowboys players have commentator gigs? There are actually, Marshawn. Oh, hold on. I've been firing through them. I got to pause for a second. This is accurate. There are a lot of former Cowboys that are announcers. There are. It's kind of a little biased there. Peanut, I own no jerseys. Yeah, I only buy cheap ones personally. We don't get an extra 5 minutes with $20 super chat. The $20 super chat was for me to take my hoodie off, and that's it. And to be best friends. See, it's $5 for extra 5 minutes, $10 to change topics, $20 to be my best friend. Keith is my best friend today. He gets to be my best friend today. Timu Green is nasty, dude. Timo is, dude. I've gotten some good cheap stuff off this mic and soundboard. Timu, and it's better than what I had. Yeah, Dan Cilio's a troll. Absolutely, boo this man. Boo. $20 doesn't 20 like it used to. No, $20 is like inflation, man. Yeah, inflation. Am I right? Yeah, $20 ain't gonna buy me a cup of coffee. Go Birds. Duck nose. It's time. It's time for the wrap up process here. Shit, ridiculous, guys. I got to take my wife to go pick up her car. Funny. So we got this one guy. I'm gonna tell a car story here. We got this one guy worked for us like 15 years ago at the pizza shop. He's opened up his own mechanic shop. And hold on, what's this? Timu killing the game. Honestly, they just as good for less. They honestly are. I spent like $80. I got 3 pair of pants, 2 hoodies, a pair of shoes, an Eagles Hurts jersey, and a beanie coming for like 70 or $80. You can't beat it. That mic and soundboard is better than Liam's, probably. hard finish. Now I got to tell the story. So my wife's window broke. The motor broke, so it slipped down and it needed to be replaced so the window could stay up and not like fall down. Um, so we had this guy. 5 more minutes brought to you by Peanut. I love it. So it means I can tell my story. It means I can tell my story and not worry about the overtime. I love it. Muchas gracias. Um, that's right, Peanut. Peanut for the win today. Um, anyway, so my wife's car had broken down a few weeks prior, and it was right next to a mechanic, a local Kennett mechanic. But we have a mechanic that we've known for 15 years. He was one of our delivery drivers when he was in high school, and we've been to his wedding. He's like family to us. And but you know what? This other mechanic shop helped my wife out in a pinch. So when the window broke, we took the odd job to them and they fixed it and picking it up this morning. But they sent us, they did a inspection of my wife's car and all the things that should be fixed on my wife's car. They found like 10 things wrong with my wife's car that my mechanic says, nah, it's not that big a deal. But they found 10 things wrong with my wife's car, totaling $6,500 in repairs. And they wanted to know how much of it they could fix. I'm like, no, I brought there for you to fix my wife's window, not do $6,500 worth of repairs to my wife's, I have to do the math in my head, like 18-year-old car. It ain't happening. What do they get off on that? Like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't. And my mechanic's like, yeah, none of that stuff's really a problem. Timu, stealing data. Yeah, well, I didn't sign up for a Timu. My wife did, so they're stealing all her data. Me, I just use her account. I'm not adding that shit to my phone. How much if we don't have to hear this story? You're so funny. On that, you're in timeout mode. Don't you value your privacy? I do. $500 for a windshield. It was $400, or $360 or something to fix the motor that gets the window to go up, and when the motor goes, window drops down, and you can't get it back up. I hear that you are getting a Kelly? I am, but it's from Timu, so it might not actually be Kelly Green. I'm not actually sure what color jersey I'm getting. But I typed in Eagles and some jerseys popped up on Timu. I think the jersey was listed at like $14.95 for a Kelly Green Hurts. It's due to come next week. I will break it out on this show next week when it comes, and we'll see how Kelly Green it really is. Kyle is getting Timu Green. It's good. Yeah, it's gonna be the DX green. Yeah, it might be. It might be. It might be this bright green that's on my Fox's Pizza hoodie here. It's gonna say Hurts. Hurts on the back and not Hurts. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be spelled. Uh, absolutely. All right, guys, we got to wrap this show up here. All right, we got to start. We got 23 likes on YouTube, 19 people watching on YouTube right now, 6 on Facebook. There's 3 people watching on Facebook right now. Hit those like buttons, hit those share and subscribe buttons. If you're watching the show on replay, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you drop comments. I'll reply to them all. That's right. Dude, this has been an interesting last week or so shows, man. I've had a blast, guys. Some days it's hard to get up to do this every morning. It really is. But and sometimes I get down and sometimes I'm like, bored. I don't know if I want to have the conversation. The last like 5 or 6 episodes have just been straight fire. The commentary from you guys has been fire. The topics we've discussed have been interesting and kept me motivated. Hell, we barely talked the Frank Reich stuff, and I wanted to do that today. We didn't talk Shaq Leonard today. We barely talked some of these things that are listed here. Injuries. We've barely talked a lot of stuff. Nick Sirianni's post-game speech. There's a lot of things left on the agenda. And tomorrow's another day. I love it, guys. Fantastic. Thank you. Will Smith always sneaks into the comments. He's always there. He just can't always comment. Money well spent. It is. I appreciate $25 worth of super chat donations today. Muchas gracias. I love it. I greatly appreciate it. Shaq Leonard should be an Eagle. He should be. And if I find out today he signs with the Dallas Cowboys, tomorrow we are going to call Howie Roseman out. Now, let's be honest. Shaq Leonard. And there's also Marcus Peters. If you want another safety available, he's available right now. All these guys that are getting cut right now, they're guys that nobody wanted to trade for. They're guys that are past their prime. They're guys that have problems. There's issues. I'm okay if they don't. But the Eagles do need. I want to look up linebackers that are available. I'm writing it down, and I'll try to look them up today. Obviously, we'll have power rankings tomorrow. We might talk Sixers. I'll try to get Justin Crosby back on to talk Sixers tomorrow. We'll do a little Sixers segment if I can get him on tomorrow. But we got to wrap this shebang up today. Trending in the AM. We're up to 26 likes now on YouTube, 6 on Facebook. Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. Follow me on all social media platforms. I'm sure Shady can still give us 10 snaps, possibly. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. Make sure you follow the show. Turn notifications on. You don't want to miss it, man. Big things happening, man. It's been a great week, man. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you very much to Keith. Thank you much to Peanut. Greatly appreciate each and every one of you. You all have a good day. Good job. Everybody have a great day. I'll be at the pizza shop in about 30 minutes. Come see me if you're in the area. Pizza on you. Go Birds, and we'll see you tomorrow.